Next item. Certificate of completion.
We have Dr. Josh Tynan and Michael Shelton, Director of Special Ed, here to update us on some changes that require us to do this, and it's called Certification of Completion. And I think you have a PowerPoint in front of you.
We went with the abbreviated PowerPoint for this presentation. You guys received a more in-depth PowerPoint. It's our pleasure, Superintendent Whiston, Board President Adams, Board, to present our Certificate of Completion program. We started this process almost 3 years ago, looking at making it meaningful for those students that can't complete the Michigan Merit Curriculum. So we're talking about students that are cognitively impaired, and not all cognitively impaired students. So we started looking at it 3 years ago, making sure it was meaningful for those students for this path to graduation. So I began it, and I passed it off to Dr. Tynan, and Dr. Tynan has, he's actually been a lead in Wayne County. They've had multiple meetings at Wayne County, and since we were on the forefront of developing this, we've really been the active members in our committee at Wayne County, at Wayne RESA. So I'd like to present Dr. Joshua Tynan, Supervisor of Special Education.
Good evening. I'm just going to expand upon what Mr. Shelton already said about the Certificate of Completion program. Okay, currently Dearborn Public Schools has 2 paths of high school completion. We're proposing a third. The 2 paths are a diploma via Michigan Merit Curriculum, a diploma via personal curriculum, and then what we're suggesting is certificate of completion via alternative curriculum. It's a non-diploma path, and it's a non-graduation path. The reason that we're doing this is Dearborn Public Schools cannot change or alter the curriculum to get a diploma or to meet the Michigan Merit Curriculum. But what we can do is we can offer free and appropriate education. We can provide access to general education curriculum. We can provide essential curriculum modifications or support. We can increase student learning. We can prepare students for the future. We can also offer rigorous alternative programs that will lead to a student's achievement of Certificate of Completion. So what is a Certificate of Completion? It's based upon it's a structured educational program based on power standards and the essential elements of the Common Core. So what we're doing is we're taking the Common Core curriculum and we're altering it and modifying it to meet the students' needs. It's intended to prepare these students for a life beyond high school that is relevant to their standards. So why should we do it? Because rigorous, relevant, and meaningful standards lead to higher achievement. I'm going to pass through the slide if you don't mind. We're going to move through a little bit quick. But the point of it is, we're trying to offer a meaningful program to our students. We're trying to lay out specific standards that are the same between all high schools and offer the same type of classes at each of the 3 high schools. We're also trying to articulate what students should know and be able to do once they leave high school. This is provided to the parents, to the students, to employers, to post-secondary educators. The expectations that we're trying to prepare the students for life beyond high school is for employment, education, and daily living. COC students will be able to participate in all extracurricular activities as long as they meet the grade point average. They'll be able to participate and attend all extracurricular activities that general ed students will, such as dances, special events, and clubs. They're still expected to follow the code of conduct. A couple points that we really need to stress and make sure that everyone knows, though, is the COC does not lead to an endorsed diploma. It's not legally recognized by colleges and universities for admission purposes. It counts against our graduation rate in our district. However, it does not count against our dropout rate. It does, though, provide modified or alternative curriculum standards for students with special needs who would otherwise not meet state requirements for high school completion. So it's not a program to be taken lightly. In Dearborn, our goal is to have all students achieve a diploma. However, we do have some students who just can't meet those standards, and we have some students who need modified curriculum that's beyond the MME standards. So what we're looking at is some important considerations for the Certificate of Completion program. Some of these students may be able to enter some trades, attend some community colleges, may be able to enter certain branches of the armed services and apply for some scholarships and financial aid. However, like I said, they're not identified by universities. What we created was a decision-making process for students once they enter high school. It's for students, as Mr. Shelton had said, who have cognitive impairments or function as if. It's typically a student who would have a mild cognitive impairment. We decided to have that process start in the 9th grade and then work its way through. What, like I said, was we want all students to achieve. We want all students to achieve a diploma. At some point, though, we need to make the decision, is this student going to graduate? Is this student going to be able to get that process done? And if not, what can we offer them as an alternative? So what we're talking about, though, a number of students is about, right now for next year, we're projecting about 75 students, 9th through 12th grade, amongst the 3 high schools that would be in the COC program. Some contents of the COC program, what we try to do was mimic the general education as much as possible. Students would still need to receive 23 credits in order to be able to walk with their class. Again, they wouldn't receive a diploma, though. They would receive a certificate of completion. What we did for the 9th grade was we mimicked 9th grade, we mimicked 10th grade. For 11th and 12th grade, we offered alternative program for a PACE program, which is vocational training or individualized vocational training. This is a little bit smaller, but it kind of goes through the same thing. What we're going to see here is the course selection catalog for the classes that are offered, such as for language arts, poetry, myths, and legends. A math class would be math for home improvement. There would be physical science classes, economic classes, and classes offered at the Berry Center. That's essentially the gist of the COC program. I know I went through it relatively quick, but the main thing I want to stress is what we're trying to do is offer our students who are already on modified paths for curriculum. We're trying to make it rigorous, we're trying to make it relevant, and we're trying to provide them a life that's worth living beyond Dearborn Public Schools. And we're trying to be consistent amongst the 3 high schools. By adopting this program, we can apply that consistency. All I did was really present it. There are quite a few people that put this program together. Ms. Fournier was a key component. Then several members among all 3 high schools worked over the summertime and created pacing guides and course catalogs for these programs. And so really what we're doing is drawing from classes that are already offered, expounding upon them, and just making them more relevant for the students.
I think it's important, and I'm not sure how clear I would be if I was in the audience listening, that we have a certificate of completion program now, but it doesn't have any rigor to it. It means that we have students walk because they have 23 credits, and they walk and receive a certificate of completion. The difference between what we have now, which is you've got 23 credits of a myriad of things, which as Dr. Tynan said, could be repeats of the same classes, is that this creates a very significantly more structured program for our students so that it's clear of where they're headed and is more rigorous in that sense. So it isn't anything really new. It's ramping up what we have right now.
Thank you, gentlemen.